Welcome, everyone, to episode 47 of the Golden Squeeze podcast. We are back. Time to start podcasting more consistently. I will take this one on the chin. This is my fault, but we're going to get this thing going. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I know it's been a week and a half since the Royal Rumble, but guess what? It's time for all four of you to hear what we have to say about it. And also, I can almost guarantee that all four of you are not still here. I'll just assume that that's down to two. But Royal Rumble this year took place in Indianapolis, Indiana. We started off with the women's Royal Rumble. I don't know if we really need to talk that much about the actual two matches that went on. Actually, we're going to talk about the Kevin Owens-Cody Rhodes match. We don't need to talk about the tag team match. But we're going to start with the women's Royal Rumble. And we got some surprises. Many, many more surprises than... Not many more, but more surprises than we got from the men's Royal Rumble. The biggest one, in my opinion, being the return of Miss Bliss, your favorite. How did it feel to hear dun it? How'd that feel?
It was good. I'll always be partial to her original theme song, but it was just good to see she's back. She looks in phenomenal shape. And I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm guessing it's going to end up being her versus Liv Morgan, because usually a lot of times these eliminations set up a future feud.
And I'm good with that for the reasons I've discussed in the past. Do you know who can beat Alexa Bliss? Liv Morgan. Do you know who can beat Liv Morgan? Alexa Bliss. That is a believable fight. So I'm fine with that. I wouldn't.
Well.
Her name, Miss Bliss. That's what I'm going to call her, because I don't need her. I don't need this girl behind me talking this whole time. But
say the goddess,
Yeah, it was good to see her. Didn't like the character she came out as, but it is what it is.
Well, we knew with her, as most people did, but she was one of the ones that especially took it hard with Bray Wyatt's passing, and you knew that she was going to pay homage to him.
Then also, I knew it doesn't mean I like it.
Yeah, I agree. I like the original character better, but and then also too, they had that one Wyatt 6 vignette where she was clearly one of the people in the vignette. Yeah. So what did we get right from that? I know Alexa.
I know that got right.
That was right. Nikki Bella. Did we say Nikki Bella?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, Nikki Bella.
And I picked the Queen. I picked the Queen to win. Don't forget.
Yes. Hey, I'm just glad, unlike the men's match, my women's pick was actually in the Rumble. So, Jordan Grace, she was in it. And I'll tell you what, when she picked up, was that Piper and did that rolling senton? Good grief.
She's a strong woman.
Oh, yeah. And I'll tell you what, and you saw some of that in the matches she was in on NXT, but just her coming in, I didn't realize how quick she was. And she's strong and just gets fired up the way she does. She will be a fantastic addition to the women's division.
Absolutely.
And I'm looking forward to that. And I know we'll get into more of this later. I'm very surprised as of yet. She has not been on WWE television since.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of surprised about that.
Yeah.
I figured she would immediately, because
not on weekly television. First of all, I think she's going to NXT, and she did a thing on WWE post stuff on YouTube. They did a behind the scenes of the Royal Rumble a couple days ago, and she was on that, but that's not like Raw, SmackDown, or NXT.
No, my understanding of what I read about her signing the contract was that it was either Raw or SmackDown.
Okay.
And which I think that's the right move, personally. And in her case, for multiple reasons. Number one, I think she's ready for either one of those shows. And then number two,
I could say about Julia and Stephanie Valkyrie as well, but
that was my next point, is that's a problem. They've got too many good women, and then now some of the ones that could use some more of the time, who's homegrown talent, they're starting to get in these forgettable tag teams and feuds. Like, who is it right now that's that's tag team like Sol Ruka and Zarya, that should not
Mhm.
be happening right
Yeah.
now. And because they've got too much going on right now. And I think they need to expedite sending some of these women that are ready right now to the main roster.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway, so I digress.
I want to talk about Charlotte. So Charlotte won.
Oh,
In
me
my
too.
opinion, Charlotte looked terrible.
What do you mean?
What was her move set?
It's the Rumble. I mean,
But it was a chop. She spent the entire time chopping people. I don't think she did anything else other than chop. Maybe some Irish whips, and chops. I need more than that from your return. Showcase something. I want to see a moonsault. I want to see Charlotte do a moonsault or something. I wanted to see something. And not only was she chopping, they were like lazy chops. Like they weren't even her normal chops. She just didn't showcase enough for me. I always knew she was going to win because that's just the way they treat her. But I wanted to see more from her. I didn't like the way that she came back. It just didn't look like the normal Charlotte to me.
They've got to protect the investment. I think they probably went above and beyond to protect the investment they're making in her for the main event of the Rumble, because it's been now a couple of weeks, and no matches, no one-on-one matches in a return yet.
Mm-hmm.
But they've obviously made the decision she is going to be the top billed women's match on one of the two nights.
Yeah, I'll probably lead off one of the nights if I had to guess.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that later, because that's tough too. Because I understand why certain matches get put in certain spots, and we talked about this last year, but Bailey Io Sky was one of my favorite matches of the weekend last year, but it wasn't in a spot that it should have been based on the quality that match produced.
Yeah.
But again, when you've got what they've already announced is going to be the main event of one of them, Jey Uso versus Gunther, you have to imagine that Cody Rhodes is going to be the main event of the other night.
Yeah. There's not a spot for a woman in main event this year's Royal Rumble. Either of the nights. Just based off of the way they built things up.
Correct. And I don't know. And I think they, especially with her coming off of injury and in light of what happened at last year's Rumble, they're probably a little gun shy about rushing somebody back who they know is going to main event and doing too much that they know is going to main event or be in the top billed women's match of the weekend. Because, I mean, look what happened. CM Punk was penciled in to fight Rollins, but this year they don't have. I don't think they want to have to call an audible again.
Yeah, I agree.
But we shall see, and we'll get back to Charlotte later because, the whole I don't know what they were thinking the following night or two nights later, but yeah, we'll get to all that. I think their attempted presentation of her upon her return was awful.
Everything about her was awful.
But
and I like Charlotte. I
didn't have any. I didn't have a problem with the Rumble, but
I did because they brought her back like we were like she was a baby, she was a baby face. I mean, Charlotte can't be a baby face.
Well, no, see, I didn't
people
get
do
that
not like her
impression from but that's a product of the old booking and why that's
the new book. It's the product of don't need to say old booking. It's the product of booking because they booked her the same way that they booked her before. They'd let her win.
No, but that's the thing. I don't have a problem with her winning. She's that good. She should be prominently featured.
Oh, I agree. I like Charlotte a lot.
What I have a problem with is, like you said, you cannot even remotely try to book her as a babyface. Book her where she's best. The arrogant queen who is better than most, if not all, who have come before her. And that is what you have to overcome. You have to overcome that.
Yeah.
And just leave it at that. None of this nonsense they tried to do the Raw after. You've got a perfect opportunity with her in that role as the arrogant queen, essentially, an arrogant queen character who's foil is either going to be the woman who beat her the last time she was in WrestleMania, or the upstart babyface and Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah.
And your money either way.
Yeah.
But either way, those matches only work if she is a heel. So why they're trying to do that when those are going to be your two choices, I have no idea. It makes no sense to me.
No clue.
But anyways, but I thought I didn't have a problem with the win, and I think yes, they're probably just being abundantly cautious with her. Let's see. I hope I would like to see a program with Liv and Alexa Bliss. I think that'd be a good feud for both of them, and hopefully we'll get them both on the WrestleMania card. Liv Morgan deserves to be on the WrestleMania card, 100%.
She put in a lot of work. A lot of the stars were out, and she put in the work while they were gone. So,
and you heard that reaction for Alexa Bliss, so the fans want to see her. It was way more than Charlotte, and I don't care what anybody says. Yes, absolutely. And so I would like that. I think it's a good feud for both of them. And so hopefully that'll happen. I thought Jordynne Grace looked great.
I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about my favorite spot of the entire Royal Rumble program. When Naomi, Jada Parker, Bianca Belair, and who's the other one? Jeez. There's one more. Well, regardless, the 4 black females that were in the Royal Rumble where they had an encounter in the middle of the ring and then looked at each other. I could not have been more angry when I saw that. But luckily, Chelsea Green came in and tried to join in the moment, and that added some levity to the situation. But man, I do not like that. I do not like that at all. That just fits into the narrative that I've been saying, that why can't they just not bring race into it? Why can't it just be, let's wrestle? Why does it have to be, let's have this moment? Jada Parker's light-skinned, number one. Like, we don't even need her in that group. Like, you got these 3 dark-skinned females, then you got light-skinned Jada Parker. Man, that was just pandering at its finest. Triple H, he's never ever gonna beat these allegations if he's doing stuff like that. But it is what it is. I texted you about it because you started watching later than I did, and I didn't think you believed me. Yeah,
nope, I did.
No, it happened. It happened. I'm surprised they didn't do it to the men's. They just have Kofi and like bring out Omos and bring out Farouk. And just have them look at each other. I don't even know who.
I say you're running out of names there.
Oh, man. But it is what it is. But what would you rate the Women's Royal Rumble match out of 10?
8.
Yeah, I'm going to say 8 or 9. I thought it was a good match. I think that they accomplished everything they needed to accomplish. They started new feuds. They had surprises. I was genuinely surprised to see Alexa Bliss. Even though I know her name was floated around when we were talking about surprises, they made it seem like she wasn't coming back because of her complications with her pregnancy. But she came back, so that was great to see. Trish Stratus, we haven't even talked about Trish Stratus being in it.
She looked good, too. Trish looked good.
Always. And then we talked about Nikki Bella, Jordynne Grace, Julia, Stephanie Valkyrie.
Jada.
I think that they had a good representation from NXT.
Yes.
Because sometimes they'll bring in like...
Oh, Roxanne Perez.
Yeah, Roxanne Perez. But sometimes they'll bring in like bottom of the barrel NXT wrestlers, and I don't need that. Like, if you're going to bring in somebody from NXT, they better be somebody who's being highlighted on NXT.
Would you have had, if you had to do it, still putting Charlotte as the winner, would you have had Roxanne be the last one?
Roxanne versus Charlotte?
For the final 2, yes.
Who was the final 2? Remind me.
Roxanne and Charlotte.
Oh, that's who it was?
Yes.
No, I would not.
Me either. Because you knew Roxanne wasn't going to win that.
Yeah, Roxanne was never going to win. But I got to be honest with you. I genuinely could not have seen anybody else winning other than Charlotte.
Right, but so I think...
maybe it feels like Jordynne Grace and Charlotte. Maybe I could have seen that.
That's what I was getting at. I could see Jordynne Grace, or I would have even liked to have seen, if they were going to have somebody from NXT be at the end, Julia.
I couldn't see Julia winning it, though. They don't even highlight her properly in NXT, in my opinion. So
I think
I could have seen believable people, and I don't know who's going to win. Bianca,
Yes.
Alexa.
Yes.
Just because of how popular she is. Not that I think that she should be able to beat Charlotte, but I think that they would book her. I think that they would book her to beat Charlotte. Nia Jax. I could have seen her.
Yes.
I could have seen Nia Jax in the end. It's not a very long list.
Who are we missing? Nikki Bella returning. I'm saying from a maybe standpoint.
If Nikki Bella had won the Royal Rumble, could you imagine how the crowd would have been? They would have been pissed. They would have stormed the ring if Nikki Bella. They had already turned on her by the time the thing was over. When she did those push-ups, that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, I instantly turned on her when she started doing those push-ups. And I like Nikki Bella a lot, but I instantly was like, man, I don't need her in the WWE anymore.
Yeah,
but
I think
yes,
ideally,
but
with
booking
would have been
with booking. I could see
decision.
Nikki Bella been the last two. I could see that too, because they're the type of company that would book Nikki Bella to win, or at least under the old regime, they would have booked Nikki Bella to win. But outside the people that we named, was Bayley in it?
Yes.
Bayley could have won.
I would have liked to have seen. When did Io get eliminated? Because, dude, the crowd loves her. And they should.
She's very good. I don't think I could have seen her winning, but she's very good. I don't want to. Again, I'll pull the race card again. Asuka already won one. They're not going to have Io win one, too. I just don't see that happening. I'm just being honest.
They think they might at some point.
Yeah.
Well, but I'm not going that far ahead. Never mind. Yeah, I liked it. It was good. Like I said, I'm just glad the person I picked was actually in this match, so that's always a plus. And I want to touch on something with the tag team match. I know I appreciate the announcers trying to explain away why the Street Profits interfered, but it was still stupid.
Yeah.
It
that
was
match,
like,
in my opinion, shouldn't have been on Royal Rumble. But
I gotta say though, man, and I've heard of the Motor City Machine Guns. I think I've seen a few of their matches prior to them coming to WWE. Those guys are, my goodness, dude. They are in
I don't need to see it at the Royal Rumble, but they're good.
No, I agree. I thought
seemed out of place.
But I'm very impressed with the way, as a tag team, they were able to come in such a short amount of time. They just have that knack to get the crowd behind them at the right time and get the crowd back with it. And it doesn't hurt how good they are. And their team moves are fantastic. But my issue with the whole thing with the Street Profits, and I know they're like, oh, if it makes perfect sense, because if DIY doesn't have the titles, then the Street Profits can't get revenge on them and get the titles back. If the goal is to get the titles, who cares?
Yeah.
And I guess what I don't understand is DIY are heels. Just if they win 2 falls to 1, it doesn't have to be outside interference in a finish like that. Just let them do their own heel tactics to get a screwy finish. They're heels. I don't know, man. And don't get me, I love the Street Profits. I think it's a travesty they haven't been champions more than they have. But I just did not like how that happened.
I agree.
But
I agree. Here's my thoughts on the match even happening. I mean, you've addressed the match. The Royal Rumble is about multi-man matches, the women's match and the men's match. When you're going to have matches outside of those, I don't need multi-man matches. We already have 30 here, 30 there. I don't need a tag team match. Give me 2 singles match. I could have taken a women's match and a men's match, 2 Royal Rumble matches.
Yep.
That's what it should have been. You could have spotlighted a women's match. I'm not saying you had to. In my opinion, you could have just had the 2 Royal Rumble matches and then the Cody Rhodes match. I don't even think I need a 4th match. Because they're already being liberal as hell with the 90 seconds in between wrestlers. Sometimes it was 3 minutes. Sometimes it was 10 seconds. Like, what are we doing? Do they not know that we can see that this is not 90 seconds? Like I promise you that if I were to go back and time it, there's a couple times where I was like, man, it's been like 5 minutes since the last person came out. They're just letting them have these extra long interactions that are lasting for minutes, forgetting the rules of the entire match. There are rules because they go over them before the match starts. It's like the only time where they have a whole presentation to make sure you know the rules. Like it's insane, but it is what it is. I don't want to talk much more about the tag team match. Let's move on to Cody versus Kevin Owens. Man, Kevin Owens, I love Kevin Owens. He's one of my favorite wrestlers ever. He's getting older, obviously. He's been in the WWE now for longer than you would expect. I can't tell you how many years he's been here, but he's been probably started NXT 10 or more years ago, if I had to put a number on it. Maybe like 2011 or 12.
No, and a little bit later than that, I believe.
His moveset is not as diverse as it used to be, but he's just a good worker, man. He's just so good. Good. He's good at making it look like a fight. And that's whenever I go to a live event, the difference between Roman and like Otis is Roman makes it look like he's fighting you. Like he makes it look like you are in a fight. And that's what I want. I like the physicality. I like it looking like these guys are beating the hell out of each other. I don't want it to look like a choreographed dance. It's one of the reasons why I don't enjoy AEW as much, because it just looks so choreographed. I want it to look like these guys are beating the hell out of each other. And Kevin Owens just always makes it look like that. He always surprises you with his agility. He's just a lot more agile than you would expect a man who hasn't lifted a weight in his entire life to be. But I enjoyed this. It was just a drag him out battle between the two guys. And there were times where I actually thought that Kevin Owens could win.
I didn't.
Silly me.
No,
well, you picked him to win.
Yeah, I did.
Don't remind me. Yeah.
But it's just when you see the placement on the card, Cody Rhodes is not losing the title on any event that he is not going on last.
Yeah.
It is not happening.
Yeah, probably not.
And
wishful thinking.
So when that match was not last, you immediately knew it was a good, entertaining match, but just
2014, by the way.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say.
So 10 years.
I know it was during John Cena's Open Challenge era for the U.S. title. That's the only thing. Just when the placement of the match, it's like, yeah, there are a few points. Oh, he might, but I mean, you knew it wasn't going to happen. But apparently he inked his new deal shortly before the Rumble, so he'll be around for a while.
Good.
And so, yeah, no, that's good. And maybe they'll do right by him at some point once the Cody Reigns over or the forthcoming Jey Uso era is over, which we'll get to shortly. But
let's get to it now. Let's start talking about the Men's Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Not a fan. Well, not a fan of parts. I'll rephrase that. I will always love the Royal Rumble. It will always be my favorite pay-per-view, even if it disappoints me, which it has. For the past, I can't remember the last time I came back and said that was awesome. This wasn't it. I didn't say that after this one. I thought the Women's Royal Rumble was better than the Men's Royal Rumble. I'm getting sick and tired of them not having very many surprises in the Men's Royal Rumble. It just infuriates me. You can't throw in, like, even back in the day, you throw in like a Tatanka, and I'd be happy to see Tatanka. Like, just give me something. Nah. Anything. You gave me Speed. Here's my old man punching at the clouds moment. I don't give a flying anything about Speed, okay? Seems like a nice kid, but like everything that happened after the Royal Rumble shows why Speed should have been in it, and that's not what I'm saying. Speed should have been in it because the views that they got on him taking that spear, I'm sure they're through the roof. You know how I know that?
Yeah.
Because I've looked at it 15 times myself. So I get that. I don't have a problem with that. And you know what's not going to pull in numbers? Tatanka. I get that too. But give me something. Give me anything.
You got Speed getting speared in half. That's all we need.
Anything.
That they know what they're doing when it comes to that.
I know they know what they're doing, but I kind of wish they didn't. I wish that they appealed to me and not to the non-fan. And they should appeal to the non-fan. They shouldn't appeal to me. They're doing the right thing, but that doesn't mean I have to like it, because I am not going anywhere. I'm going to watch every Royal Rumble until I'm in the grave. So they could trot out the Great Khali 30 times in a row for 5 years in a row, and I'd watch all 5 years. That's not the point. The point is that every year I get excited because there used to be genuine surprises. Like, a lot of them. Like, you might get like 7 or 8 in any given Royal Rumble. And now it feels like I just get 0. I wasn't surprised by Speed. You told us beforehand that they were going to be, him and Kai Cenat were going to be there live streaming. It only would have been logical for him, and I know I didn't say him, and this might sound like hindsight, but it was logical for one of them to be in the room. I mean, so it just is what it is. But, and who did they give number 30 to? Was it Logan Paul?
Oh, yeah.
That's inexcusable. That's an inexcusable thing for them to do. That is borderline wrestling malpractice, to give the number 30 spot, to give it to Nikki Bella in the women's match. You may not like it, but I'm fine with that. I'm fine with Nikki Bella being number 30. Alexa Bliss probably would have got the bigger pop at number 30, but I'm fine with Nikki Bella being number 30. And then you give it to Logan Paul, which I've never heard anyone say they like Logan Paul. The best thing you're going to get is, I hate Logan Paul, but he's actually pretty good at wrestling. And
yes,
that's how I feel. And that's exactly right. I think he is good, but you got to get something better at number 30 than Logan Paul. It's just, it drove me insane.
I think they did it, to get him more heat for being number 30. But the problem was, I think what they should have done is, they should, if they were going to do it like that,
don't tell us he's in it.
Correct. Or the spot where Dom was the buzzkill after Punk, Roman, Cena, they should have put Paul there, which would have made sense too. And then when everybody's waiting, if you're doing it to have somebody catch heat, Dom would have been perfect at 30.
Oh yeah.
And that would have been, dude, because the reaction he got when he was like, oh, there's Punk, oh, there's Roman, oh, there's Cena, and then here comes Dom. Oh, and the announcers ate that up. That was great.
Yeah. Yeah. But going back to Speed, and another thing, and I texted you about this. Oh, it's such a surprise, but yet he's wearing merch. He has a theme song, and he has graphics.
Yes.
What are we doing?
Hey, they have to be prepared.
I can only suspend disbelief so much.
They knew he was there, and if somebody got injured and he happened to be up there standing around, they could have sent him out, and so they had to be prepared.
Can't do it. I can't do it. And again, I get it. I just can't do it though. And I enjoyed it. I'm actually bitching, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Speed in it, but because he took that spear like a pro.
Oh yeah.
He took it well. He actually injured himself. He had a pretty bad cut on his leg. I don't know if you saw that.
And a concussion?
Well, yeah, with that, you never know what's real, but definitely wasn't faking that giant gash he had on his leg when he went through the table. So good on him. But what surprises did they have?
That
AJ Styles.
Hey, but I got to say, that I got my wish, and so did just about every wrestling fan. His old music is back.
Yes, that was awesome. That was great.
Not necessarily a surprise, but I think you called this. Didn't you say Penta and Ray should open?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, no.
And then I also said that Penta would be the workhorse.
Yep.
They didn't really have a workhorse, but I think he lasted the longest.
He did.
He went 32 minutes.
No, he did. And
there was no 60-minute guy.
And thank goodness his feet did not touch the floor on that one spot.
You must have seen different spots.
Some of the things on the internet about it, like, see, it has to be a full foot, and clearly only his toe touched the ground. Gosh,
that's the thing, because Shawn Michaels, they had to make that rule because he accidentally touched the ground, and then they had to make it it's got to be both feet.
Yeah.
But it didn't deter from the match. It's just one of those things where as a wrestling fan, you learn to laugh stuff like that off. Like, it's not that big of a deal. He barely touched. They never showed a replay.
No, of course not.
If they don't show a replay, you know it's an accident.
Yeah, they never will.
If I had to go back, if we had to go back and watch it, probably don't even show it. They probably edit that out. If I had to guess, I'm actually probably going to check.
I'm gonna have to go and find out.
Yeah,
trying to think.
There were none. You can keep thinking.
No. In terms of surprises, I think the finish was the biggest surprise, possibly ever.
Shinsuke.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Shinsuke. Maybe Alberto Del Rio when he won it.
Mm-hmm.
But especially considering who was left, it was Jay and Cena. At least when Alberto Del Rio won, that's the one where Santino thought he had won.
Yeah,
and Alberto
came back.
We all knew nobody thought Santino Marella was really good. I was genuinely shocked that happened.
I will say this: when it came down to the two of them, I didn't know who was going to win. I didn't know.
Neither did I.
So I will say they got that right, because too many times you know who's going to win.
Yes.
But when they were both on the apron, I was on the edge of my seat. I did not know who was going to be winning that match. And my youngest, we all picked our Royal Rumble winners, picked Jey Uso. So he got it right. My 5-year-old got it right. Good on him.
Nice.
You and I did not get it right. You got it very wrong. I just got it a little wrong.
Oh, yeah. It was horribly wrong. Mine wasn't even in it. I picked The Rock for you 4 listeners who didn't see that video.
Yeah. I will say this. It was a well-booked Royal Rumble for the people that were in it. I just didn't necessarily like the people that were in it. So that's my take on it. I don't know who I would have gotten rid of, though, I guess. Was there anybody from Legado del Fantasma in there?
Santos Escobar.
Okay, I would have gotten rid of him. Was Andrade in it? Speaking of which, Andrade and Charlotte had a divorce.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that. No, I think, Andrade was in it.
I don't need Andrade in it.
I like Andrade.
I like Andrade too, but if I want surprises, I got to get rid of somebody. So it's going to be Andrade. It's going to be Andrade and Santos Escobar.
I was surprised there. Were there any men from NXT?
Carmel, he's not in NXT.
I don't think Trick, no Oba, no Don. No, the one I was really surprised that was not in it. I thought for sure Ethan Page was going to
go.
I thought if anybody was in it, maybe have him have an interaction with CM Punk or something. And I was surprised that at least Ethan Page make it in there from the men's side.
I guess they're probably going to try to tell us that Joe Hendry was a surprise.
Okay, yes, but I agree with and I don't know if you ever responded to that, guys. I can't believe y'all didn't say Joe Hendry because like
I responded to him.
Okay, because he announced it. He
didn't announce it, but he strongly alluded to the fact that he was going to be in it because he posted the date of the Rumble
exactly
and said something along the lines of "say his name and he'll appear."
Yes,
and I responded to that guy. I said that we did not say Joe Hendry because we thought it was just a foregone conclusion that he was going to be in it, so we did not view that as a surprise. And I still don't view that as a surprise, but I think that WWE might have thought that we would view it as a surprise, so they can blame Joe Hendry for that. That's entirely his fault. That it wasn't a surprise.
And with the new relationship they have with TNA, like officially now, I'm surprised Dolph Ziggler or Nick Nemeth didn't make an appearance. I'm surprised. I thought maybe that'd be an opportunity to introduce Moose to the WWE fans.
We had Moose. We had Dolph, Matt Cardona.
Matt Cardona. That would have been
a lot of people. I mean, I'm sure Matt Cardona was there. I'm sure he was there for his wife, but Aleister Black, his contract might not have been up.
I don't think his or Rusev's was up because him, Rusev, and Ricky Starks all got released on the same day.
Okay, yeah,
is my understanding, and then Starks surprisingly showed up on NXT. God, man, that guy's good. We'll talk more about that later, but But yeah, that was to me more of the surprises to me was who was not in it. I still cannot believe Pat McAfee didn't have some sort of spot
Yeah.
in it, being in Indianapolis. And how instrumental it sounds like he was in lobbying for Indy to get the event.
Yeah.
Or a major event. And so yeah, that
They probably approached him and said, let somebody else do it. If I had to guess.
Yeah. And
if he wanted to do it, I'm sure he could have.
Oh yeah.
And Tyrese Halliburton, we projected him to be in it.
Yeah.
He was there. He got there quick. He got there super quick.
And I'll admit, I think it was foolish
that the Pacers would let him be in the Royal Rumble.
For me to think, yes, no, that was not going to happen. But I couldn't help it to say it.
It was there. We at least got that right.
Oh yeah, he was there. Yeah, and I've had some time to sit and think about it, and seeing the crowd reactions. I think I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't, to some degree, agree with the decision for Jay, because I have complained to you numerous times and you to me about the company doesn't listen to the fans. Well, they did. And they are still, even in the weeks following, behind him 100%. And it's
wish the fans made better choices.
Well, but I mean,
he's not a good singles competitor. We can say whatever we want. He doesn't put on good matches.
He's growing on me.
He doesn't put on good matches. He does not put on. Do you think that he will ever put on a 4.5-star match? I'm not even saying 5-star match. He's not capable of doing it as a singles competitor. He's just not.
Well, if any, they've got the perfect person to get that out of him.
Yeah.
Because
but he couldn't. His brother couldn't get it out of him. We think Gunther's going to.
Well, the previous matches have been against Gunther have been good.
I'm going back to movesets. Just not a fan.
Oh no, I know, but hey, you know how I feel. You know I like Gunther. I hated that they had Sami Zayn beat him the way they did last year. And quite frankly, I don't like the idea of Jey Uso beating him at WrestleMania for the title. However, with that said, I think sometimes companies reward you for certain things, and I think they should.
Oh, he's making the money hand over fist off of merch.
And it's like these chants, it's not like the Fandango thing where it kind of just dies down after a while.
Speaking of which.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to that. Yes. But you know, some of those chants just kind of die down after a while. That one has not.
Yeah.
And you can't just say, oh, it's a size of the crowd thing, or no, these are at packed arenas and every week, every single week. So I don't have a problem with them rewarding that. I just wish it wasn't going to be at the expense of Gunther. But again, Gunther's a heel. Heels are meant to be conquered.
Yeah.
And I personally just felt like when they announced Cena this was going to be his last year, I was like, oh, that's easy. That's an easy feud to build around. Cena versus Gunther. Cena overcomes and conquers the four in general. You know, that was easy. I thought that was easy.
Yeah.
And a good one, especially at Cena's Cena's getting older and Cena does not regularly wrestle anymore. I think he would have been the perfect person in that position to get a solid 15 minutes out of him.
Yeah.
But again, I think the match will be fine. The fans are going to eat up all the false finishes, and that place is going to lose its mind when Jay wins. And that's what it's all about.
Or lose. And builds more heat for Gunther.
That they're not going to do that. Mm-hmm. Had Gunther, because they they're building it around the fact that Jay can't overcome him. He's lost to him 3 times. It's not going to be a fourth. Jay is going to get rewarded.
Should
It
be
may
a
be
fourth.
if yeah. I know, I agree, but he'll get I think he's going to get the title in just the same way I think Sheamus is finally going to overcome Braun Breaker and finally win the Intercontinental title.
Deserves it.
Agreed. And you know,
I don't want him to lose. I think that he deserves it, and I'd prefer for Braun Breaker to lose to somebody else, and then Sheamus gets the title from that person. But
well, no, because I think they're going to do a very similar path that they did, or in 2025, they're going to do a very similar path they did with Braun Breaker as they did for Gunther in 24. Breaker's going to lose the IC title, but that's going to lead to him possibly winning King of the Ring and then winning the title at SummerSlam.
Yeah, okay. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with Braun Breaker having a title, honestly.
But I will say this though, I'm a lot more comfortable in my own opinion and belief in who should be beating who and how. I'm a lot more comfortable with Sheamus finally overcoming Braun Breaker and winning that title than I was with Gunther than Sami Zayn overcoming Gunther via Hulk up.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But yeah, because I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw the Rumble match, I was like, I cannot believe this. I was furious about it, but then I was like, you're being a hypocrite. You talk about listening to the fans and the crowd responses to things, and that's what they've been doing for the last year and change.
If they were really listening to their crowd, then they would have let Dom win. All I'm saying. Could you imagine if Dom had won?
I would have had a grin the size of the one I've got right now because I think that would have been absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
all right.
But
well,
so yeah, I like it better. Once I sat on it for a few days, I was like, okay. But also, if you think about it, it was a foregone conclusion as soon as it was him and Cena, which is, I don't think it should have been Cena in the last spot because they already gave away when Cena made the announcement in Canada that it was going to be his last year.
Oh, he said he was in the Elimination Chamber, right?
Yes. And he said he was going to be there in Elimination Chamber. They announced Elimination Chamber was also going to be in Canada. So it's like, okay, well, we already knew he was competing there, which means if he's competing in his last chamber match, I know they've done it before.
In fairness, he said it was going to be Elimination Chamber. He could have been there wrestling, not in the chamber.
Yeah, but you knew they were going to build that event around him, but
I was still surprised.
But now that we've had more than just the few days it took me to be okay with it, how do you feel about the result?
The result, still don't like it.
Okay, fair.
But I understand it. I don't have to like it. I understand it. I'm not saying they did the wrong thing. I don't think they did the wrong thing. I think they probably did the right thing for their company, but they didn't do the right thing for me, and that's what I care about. They did the right thing for me.
And now that I wanted The Rock to show up. I think I think reality is finally setting in. The Rock is not wrestling this year, I want to see Rock and Roman at a WrestleMania. Yeah. I truly, truly do, and I hope it happens at some point.
Last thing I almost about the Rumble that I just remembered that I texted you about is, man, does the WWE have a youth problem? They were relying too much on these old guys. You remember how I brought to your attention the fact that there's 8 guys in the ring or 9 guys in the ring and 8 of them are 38 or older? Or no.
Yes.
I think all of them are going to be 40 by next year's Royal Rumble is what it was.
Yes.
Like that is inexcusable. That's just bad. That they're being short-sighted right now and not thinking to the future. Great, Braun Breaker, young, good. They got to start developing more young guys. These
How
guys
old's Kaiser?
No clue.
Let's see. How about Gunther?
The same age as Kaiser, I would guess.
But I mean, I know Gunther.
Kaiser's 34, and Gunther is 37. Not old, but not. We need more 20-somethings.
Like, but see, it's the opposite for the women. Women are.
Oh, yeah.
Good Lord, dude. That division
Well, I mean,
is
I
good to
don't
go
know.
for.
I mean, Charlotte's old.
No. I mean, but we're talking about what's coming up in the pipeline.
I know. They have it. They have youth.
Yeah.
They don't have youth. There's nothing in the pipeline. Oba, I don't know how old Oba is.
He's young. I think he's in his 20s. At least I think he still is.
He's 26.
Okay.
I don't think that Trick is going to be a star.
I disagree.
I know you do.
I know
you do.
because well, a couple things. I have enjoyed his matches more and more the more he wrestles.
I just don't think he has it.
But and that's fair. But seeing how if he gets those crowd reactions on the main roster that he did in NXT, and seeing how that was rewarded with Jay, I think he has potential. I think the sky could be the limit because he's going to sell, dude.
Jay has so much more charisma.
But that
he's done nothing on the mic.
I agree. I am, yes, a lot to be desired at this point on the microphone. I agree with that. But I'm just thinking it's not just an NXT thing. Like Chase U is something that we've discussed is tailor-made for NXT.
Will never work on the main roster.
However, you know how many Whoop That Trick shirts are going to be sold at every single
100%. He has the entrance. He can thank Booker T though. Question is the entrance going to be as good without Booker?
Yes.
I guess it will be because the crowd can't hear Booker, but it might not be as might not be as entertaining when you watch it on TV.
And if he's on Raw, you think Pat McAfee's not going to get up and start doing that and getting everybody into it as well?
They might actually have to put him with Pat McAfee. Like whatever show he goes to. I'm serious. I'm dead serious. Yeah. They might have to put him on a show with Pat McAfee to give it justice, to give him the push that he needs.
And I would tune in just to see Michael Cole attempt to do the way Trick does it on rhythm and fail miserably at it.
Yeah.
Because he sure the hell can't yeet in rhythm.
But just going back to it, they're too old. Now you look at guys like Roman, and you look at guys like Seth Rollins, and they don't feel as old as they are. To me, they don't feel like they've been wrestling that long. Like I felt like guys like Shawn Michaels wrestled forever, but we're getting to the point where Seth Rollins has been around for forever. He doesn't feel almost 40. But he's almost 40. Roman's almost 40.
Yes. And I think they're trying to address that now with their next in line things, and now this new show that they're doing with trying to find the next up and comers. I think is it with Tubi? They got some sort of new deal with for
that show. It's called LFG. I think is the name of it.
Is that the one that's gonna it has Undertaker and some of them as coaches, and then on one of the previews I saw Gunther talking to some of them, but there's another new programming that's coming on.
I think WWE, LFG, Undertaker, Booker T, Mickey James, and Bubba Ray Dudley.
Okay, now this one I'm talking about is, how they have the what they do before the live shows to air a WWE main event or something like that.
Dark matches?
Well, but it's going to be its own. But isn't that what it was called? WWE main event?
That is a show.
Okay, yeah. Well, now they're going to have basically an NXT version of that. That's going to air, I think, on Tubi. So the ones that are still
bad. That's going to be a hard watch.
Right. But I mean, at least they'll be getting exposure, and they'll be, that's how you got to build the talent though.
It's true.
The fact that they're making an effort, and that they probably, this conversation that me and you were having about, especially the age with the men, because with the women, I don't think it's a problem. They've got enough. They've got talent.
They have too much talent.
Yes. And the fact that some of them have not been featured for a while is just, where's Thea Hale? Where's Thea Hale been since Chase U got disbanded? There's no reason. She is way too good to not be featured in some. And that okay, I'm not doing this tonight. I'm staying on track.
Well, stay on track because we still got things we got to talk about.
Oh yeah, but I think they're trying to address it.
Yeah,
which is good, and I think because of they had to look at that and be like, look at our men's roster, look at the ages compared to what we have in the pipeline for the women. We're set there, but we've got to bring this up here.
Yeah, can you imagine how bad those matches are going to be? Because there's already some bad stuff on NXT, and we're going to go even lower than that. Whew, that's going to be some hard watches. Some hard watches.
Yeah, but man, you never know. Maybe somebody can. I'm trying to think who. Oh, I forgot talking about who's coming up. That's good. I think Javon Evans is a fantastic wrestler. He picked it up quick.
Yeah, but he's not going to win the title. Doesn't have the body type to do it. Give me a comparable body type that won a title looks like him.
Kevin Durant.
A WWE title. He's too lean, too long and skinny.
But God, that guy he can jump out the damn gym, dude. God, he's good.
I get it. He's like a taller Kofi, and I guess Kofi did it, so maybe he could.
No, I don't. I think in terms of just, I think he's more athletic than Kofi.
I think he's more athletic than Kofi too. I'm just thinking of just from a body type perspective.
And I'm not knocking Kofi. Kofi is, especially the things Kofi can still do at his age, is amazing. But just even younger Kofi, just seeing what Javon Evans can do at his age, comparing like years ago Kofi, I think he's more athletic. And I'm not knocking Kofi Kingston at all. I think Javon. I think they've got, from a talent standpoint, and God, if they can get away from that bouncy thing.
Wow, they want to get away from getting bouncy.
Oh my God. But because sometimes on the microphone where you can tell some of the times they said, hey, just go be yourself. Like that contract thing they had with him. I think it was Trick, Ethan Page, and Sean Spears. Mm-hmm. That was great. That was good. Like, just let him be.
Yeah.
And so I think he's got the potential, but we shall see. But anyways, I didn't want to move on because I was thinking, man, who else do they have besides Trick that's a little bit younger coming up for the men? How old's the Don?
100. Tony D'Angelo, 1995, June. He'll be 30 this year, 29.
Okay. So that's another one.
Not bad.
And that was my dog. Just pushed the door open.
All right, I think that's enough Rumble talk. Let's talk about these releases from the WWE. They happen every year. There's some names on there a little bit. Isla Dawn, I was a little surprised by.
Yes.
Surprised by Sonya Deville.
Yes.
Cedric Alexander, not as surprised. AOP, they release them like once a year, so I'm not surprised by that. Blair Davenport, hadn't seen her in a while, so I'm not that surprised.
I know, but dude, I think she's good. I like her. They just didn't feature her enough. But I think she could have been. She's a great heel.
Yeah.
And I think she's a great wrestler. I was very disappointed with that one. Disappointed with Sonya Deville.
I'm not going to be surprised. I'm not going to be upset about them releasing a woman. And the only reason why I say that is, like we just talked about, they're so deep that Blair Davenport was never going to get featured. It just wasn't going to happen because there's just not enough space for her. So let her go be somewhere where she can be featured, because there's just not a place for her in the WWE. And that's not a knock on her. That's just an indictment on the talent they have. Giovanni Vinci, I'm only surprised they got rid of him because I thought at some point in time they would at least touch on him leaving Imperium. But
I mean, I knew it was Dunzo when they had that he was going to come back and this like arrogant, like driving the Ferraris and stuff, and then he got rolled up immediately. I was like, oh God, he's done.
Yeah, but he's done bringing him back.
No, I agree.
What's the point? Comic relief?
Yeah, I don't know what they were doing with that. But yeah, Sonya Deville, especially them putting her at the forefront of that stable, and
She was just in the Rumble.
Yeah, and I like her. I do. I think they could have used her differently. The PFC thing isn't clicking with the fans. Never has been.
That's a stupid name. You can't overcome that name.
And I don't know. I
Pure
think they could have
Fusion
found
Collective.
something else for her to do.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I was surprised by that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Good Brothers.
Yeah.
Not as surprised. I'm only surprised because I feel like when they're old, so like just make them producers. We don't need to release them from the company. Have them do more backstage stuff.
Yeah.
They have a lot of knowledge. I'm sure they could bring something to the table, but yeah, I'm fine with it. I don't need to see the Good Brothers wrestle. Then Electra Lopez was the last one to be.
I did not know that one.
Yeah,
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, but I think that Sonya Deville will end up in AEW, and I think that she will do well there. I think that's a better place for her. So good on the company for firing people. I don't even know what I'm saying here. Not good on them. Not good that anybody has to be fired. But
we just lost another viewer.
There was nothing too impactful. I don't want Sonya Deville to go, but I'll be fine. I'll be okay.
Well, I will say this though: if they got rid of Isla Dawn, but not Alba Fire, do you think she goes back to, was it Kaylee Ray?
Yeah,
is that her name? Do you think because she was great as a singles competitor?
Yeah, maybe.
And so
I think we never see her again, and we see her get released soon.
We'll see, because I mean, I was when I saw that, I was like, well, they obviously have some sort of plan if they didn't get rid of both of them.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was odd.
Yeah.
Unless they have something in the pipeline. So we shall see.
Yeah. But when you get rid of people, you know what comes next? Signing people. And we know we got Ricky Starks,
yes,
who you seem to be a big fan of.
I think he's a great signing for the company.
And we're probably going to be getting Rusev and Aleister Black.
Yes.
Rusev. I loved Rusev. He was
Me too.
Very over. I was surprised when I wasn't surprised when they got rid of him because they stopped using him. I was surprised when they stopped using him. He's no longer married to CJ Perry. I don't know if they try to bring her back and have them work together still. I don't know why they got a divorce or what their relationship is. But
well, she's signed to TNA currently, I believe.
Right, so there's no reason why she couldn't be with WWE.
Yeah, but I think she's like not in a valet role. She's like as a active, like title contending member of the company, like wrestling actively, I believe.
Those matches had to be disasters.
I can't speak for that. I don't know.
Look that up. But I'm a big fan of Miro. I liked him before. I didn't watch him wrestle in AEW. Don't know how they used him, but I'd be happy to see him back. I'd be happy to see Aleister Black back if they use him properly.
Exactly.
And I'm happy to see what Ricky Starks brings to the table.
He's great on the mic. He's got charisma for days.
Yeah. And we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
From what I read, it sounds like, I think some people were surprised that he debuted on NXT as opposed to immediately on the main roster. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that because they have a tendency to do that. I think Ethan Page could have been a great heel immediately on Raw or SmackDown. That's coming. Coming.
But he's main roster ready. We've been saying for months that he's the most main roster ready person, at least in the men's side, in that entire brand.
Yeah, you got a few that could go. Him. Who else?
Oba. Oba can go.
Oh, yeah. Well, yes. And who am I thinking of? Lexus King.
He can go.
They need to make him heel, full out heel again. I think that's coming.
Yeah,
and
he's not a main event guy on the main roster, but he'll be a nice mid-card heel.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But from what I'm reading, it looks like maybe Starks went to NXT because they wanted to go ahead and get him the exposure But they're saying that since WrestleMania plans have been locked in place for several months now, that they wanted to get him on television, and they can still do more things and start feuds,
Raw to WrestleMania.
for him in the meantime. Yes.
I
So
remember when Raw to WrestleMania was fun.
yeah.
It's been about 3 years. Make
They're
make
hyping
Raw
it
after
again.
WrestleMania great again.
Yeah, and like you said, with the Royal Rumble, like I still tune in every Raw after WrestleMania to see. So we'll see what happens. But
we shall see.
So so we got the releases, and let's see.
Last thing we're going to talk about is that by the time this airs, I will be going to SmackDown tomorrow, and I'm excited. I'm not on the front row of the floor, but I am in the front row of the first available seats. So not the floor seats. I'm in the first row of like the stadium seats, camera side. So I should be visible. Maybe not. I don't know. Going with my 3 boys and my wife. My youngest first wrestling event. Should be fun.
Very nice.
Should
Very
be
nice.
fun. Hopefully John Cena shows up. He's probably not going to, but that would be nice.
Don't
be
forget
nice to see John
Cody
Cena.
come on the Golden Squeeze sign. He does fan service, man. He might do it.
He does. I'll make a sign. Cody, come on the Golden Squeeze podcast.
Or just get the Golden Squeeze on there.
Yeah, but it should be fun.
Awesome.
I'm excited. Hopefully it's a good show. And 2 days, Valentine's Day. It's my Valentine's Day gift to my wife. It's what she's always wanted.
Exactly. If only mine could be so lucky.
If I had known that there was a NXT pay-per-view the next day, if I had known sooner, I probably would have gotten tickets to that too. But it is what it is. But should be a fun weekend.
Awesome, man. We'll be having a good time at that. We'll be looking for you.
Yeah.
For sure.
But I think that's going to wrap up episode 47.
Oh, I got one more thing.
Okay.
All right. So I've been trying to figure out how Punk gets in the main event.
You think you cracked the code?
Not me. And if I had it in front of me, I would give credit to who said it, because I was like, how are they going to do this? It's like they've already said Jey Uso is going to be one main event. We know Cody's going to be in another, but they've teased this triple threat based on how the Rumble with Punk eliminating Rollins and Reigns, and then Rollins going after Reigns, but then Punk and Rollins still skirmishing with each other.
Mm-hmm.
They've been talking about which would be a very high quality triple threat with 3 prominent stars, but that would mean none of them are in the main event. And something I saw earlier today was apparently the belief is Cena is going to win the Chamber. From what all the whispers are, he's going to win, go on to face Cody. Because for those of you who don't know yet, as the time this airs and Raw's been a few days past, main event Jey Uso is fighting Gunther. He made it official and said he was picking Gunther after Gunther attacked him the other night. What I saw was now the belief is it's not going to be a triple threat with Rollins, Reigns, and Punk. That the triple threat will be Cody, Cena, and Punk. With Punk utilizing his favor that Paul Heyman owes him to get him into the main event instead of Roman Reigns. And I was like, okay. And then also they said that would also help take some of the pressure off of a very part-time Cena in that
Makes
spot.
sense. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I like that. And then that would also kind of come full circle to an extent, because I don't know if you remember what Punk said when he left the 10 years ago. He said he did not like the fact that they took the belt off of him and had The Rock win, or he was upset that he wasn't going to be in the main event, and he lobbied for a triple threat match with him, Rock, and Cena. And he said, even if you have it to where it's a triple threat last man standing or triple threat, like, hey, you get pinned, you're eliminated. He's like, even if you did something like that and I'm the first one pinned, I just want to be in that main event. And then now here we are in a situation where he gets what he wanted all those years ago, and he gets put into that main event in a triple threat match.
It's not bad.
And he may not win. It may end up be Cena getting that title, but Punk gets what I think he deserves because he was going to get it last year. He got hurt, and he's been putting on quality wrestling matches and having quality that feud with Drew McIntyre was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And the match with Rollins was very good. The match with Sami Zayn recently was very good. He's been putting on good matches, and I think he is deserving of that spot that injury took from him last year.
He'll get it. He'll definitely get it.
I think he might. I just wonder, but in terms of the favor Heyman owes him, I think that is the only logical thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Unless Cena loses and Cena's not involved, and Punk or Rollins win, and then somehow it becomes like a fatal four-way or something, like Cody, Rollins, Punk, and who did I say? And Reigns. So Reigns, Rollins, Punk, Cody.
I don't need a fatal four-way.
I don't either. But I'm perfectly okay
I'm fine
with
triple threat, not a fatal four-way.
I'm fine with that too. The only thing I'm having a hard time with that is, do you really not have Roman main event?
Yes. Why do I need Roman for the 15th year in a row?
I'm fine with it, but just the fans love him.
But I'm fine with him not main eventing WrestleMania.
If he doesn't main event, then him and Rollins have to open.
That's fine. I've watched Brock Lesnar open. We watched Brock Lesnar open
we
at
did.
WrestleMania 35. If Brock Lesnar can open a WrestleMania, then Roman Reigns can open a WrestleMania.
No, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious your thoughts on that of him because I know and the fact he's one of the poster boys of this new WWE 2K game. He's got his own line of Jordans, I think, coming out in April, if I'm not mistaken. And that's
open WrestleMania.
I understand, but that's just the side of it I'm looking at. It's like, okay, he's doing all this and this. He's still one of the poster boys.
I think opening is just as important as closing.
I agree.
So I don't think you're losing much by having him open WrestleMania. It gets the crowd going.
I think that'd be a good spot too.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a great match to open the entire event.
Yeah.
So, but now with all that said, how do you feel about that theory? Do you like the idea of Cena winning?
I'm fine with that. I like triple threat matches.
Yeah. But do you like the way it gets there? Cena winning and Punk using the favor from Heyman to get himself in there as opposed to Reigns.
I don't understand it. I don't know what power Heyman has to grant that favor. It doesn't make any sense.
But this favor thing has been lingering, and it's coming.
Doesn't mean it has to make sense. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that don't make sense. Heyman's not in a position of power. Like if it was Triple H that owed him a favor, that's one thing. But Paul Heyman has no authority.
Yeah, well,
or at least in the kayfabe world, he doesn't.
Yeah. And last but not least, did you see Cena's presser after the Rumble? He put himself in the Elimination Chamber. He said, I know.
I did know that, yes.
He said, I know. He said you have to earn it. He's like, but I've given everything to this company for however many years. He's like, and I'm announcing myself for the chamber. He's like, because the WWE, he's like, they need me to main event WrestleMania. But the way he said it, I was like, oh my God, it is finally happening. And somebody agreed with me and wrote an article about it. Like they think we're finally getting the John Cena heel turn.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we'll get the Rock before we get that.
No, but I think it's happening. And I think what may send him over the edge is if he does not win the title he said he thinks he's going to win the chamber, go main event WrestleMania, and win the record-breaking championship, because he thinks that that's what the fans deserve, and that, you know, everybody deserves that. So then somebody can come and break that record.
He can't be a heel.
He absolutely can be.
Not with people knowing it's his last year. I just don't think he can be.
That's the reason he can.
That's the reason he can't, because people aren't going to boo him.
You're right. They're going to cheer him. He's going to be a cheered heel.
But it's not a real heel. It's not a real heel. If they're
this
cheering,
this day and age, it is.
Dom's a real heel. That's a real heel.
Okay. Yeah. As soon as I said that, I was like, he's going to bring up Dom.
Yeah. Dom is a real heel.
I think Logan Paul's a real heel.
Yeah. Who are supposed to be the heels in the company?
Dom.
Gunther?
Yes. But I know they say, oh, his title reign, lackluster, whatever. But if you notice, though,
his mic work's not lackluster.
No, and he gets cheers.
Yeah.
But when you're that good, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's great. And we could talk about this all day. The fact that English is his second language and he's that good on the mic. Man. It reminds me of myself before these nagging injuries derailed my career.
Yeah.
But
he used to be the best.
No, you heard it here first. Actually, second, whoever wrote that article.
Nope, it was us. First.
John Cena's turning heel.
All right. Well, that's the way to end episode 47 of the Golden Squeeze podcast with the prediction that John Cena is going to be turning heel before WrestleMania.
No, not before. At WrestleMania. When he does
double turn, or I guess it's a triple threat match, so triple turn. If you like what you heard, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, and we will see you next time on
Put some extra squeeze behind that one.
The Golden Squeeze podcast. Yeah.
Don't forget to look for Josh Friday Night Live on SmackDown. Hopefully he'll be holding a Golden Squeeze sign, and hopefully Cody will be on here soon.
Maybe. Not if he watches these things. He wouldn't be.
Maybe.
Yeah. We love you, Cody.